Odds are I've already left town. A few cities in between, the new skyline where I'm looking down. A few empties on the floor and a note on the door of your house. And this silence reminds me of what's left behind me for now. There's a broken down car parked outside the barn up the road.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and it's another vlog today. Okay, so we actually went out as a family. So my mother-in-law had come to visit us a month ago, and it was time for her to go back, so we wanted to take her out, and also to get her some things. And it was also very close to Christmas, so it was also a good time for us to shop and get some things for Jason and for ourselves. So on this particular day, the train was congested. I actually did not know that the train could actually get this congested. It was so bad that we couldn't move, we couldn't do anything. Where my husband was sitting, I couldn't even reach out to him when Jason was crying. But eventually we got to our destination, which was Birmingham. And this is grandma trying to take some pictures, trying to get some pictures for the road, you know. And so here we were at the Birmingham train station, and we're trying to find our way out to the mall, like to the town center, just so that we can have access to shops and stores. And so we got into this mall, and really, this mall is so big. The funny thing was that I didn't even get the name, so I can't even remember, but it was so big and it was so nice. There were so many stores, designer stores, like a lot of stores. But then we wanted to look around first before we started our shopping. And I would confess the town center was really so big. I was like, what? That this place is so big. And so we had actually visited a shop before this one, but then we decided to go off to Primark and start our shopping at Primark, because grandma wanted to get some stuff that she was wanted to get some stuff for grandma that she was going to be taking back to Nigeria. But before we got into Primark, we actually saw some people singing some Christmas song, and it was really like a lovely sight. So here we were at Primark, and we were really looking around and then to find what we could get. But then we didn't get what we liked, so we had to leave, and then we went back into the mall to actually try looking for some stores where we could get some stuffs, not just for grandma but also for ourselves. And so I must actually say that on this particular day, the mall was so filled up with people. Like I'd never seen this strong of people. Like I was at some point I had to pause that. Okay, why does it seem like the whole of Birmingham is shopping today? But then I guess it was because Christmas was very close. It was just a few days to Christmas. So we decided to look around. We got into some stores just to have a look. So we came into this Bershka store. It was actually my first time of hearing the name and even going into their store. We looked around, but eventually we didn't really get the things we wanted, so we had to come out and try other stores too. But in the process, we were looking around. There were so many people, there were so many stores, the decors, the whole structure of the mall. It had this very lovely side. There was this playground for children, and right there too, there was this sitting area where adults could sit, have a drink, or maybe like my child is playing, I could just sit somewhere while I watch my child. It was really like a lovely place, and there were so many people, and I just had to like try to capture all of that. We were actually on the second floor this time. So we were just looking around, and before we actually continued with our shopping. So eventually, after we had taking a very good look around, we decided to go into Zara. So I actually saw this lovely coat I wanted to get in Zara, but then it was not my size. So we decided to check out some other stores. Of course, I wasn't planning to get shoes or bags because I saw some, they were really lovely, but since it wasn't what I wanted to get, there was really no need checking them out. Um, so we also wanted to get some stuff for Jason, and at the same time, it was actually really tough shopping on this particular day because we were really like watching our time. Because by the time it was 4, it was going to be dark, like because of the current weather in the UK. And so we were trying to actually, you know, hasten up so that we can finish whatever it is we were doing between 3 and 4 so that it doesn't get too dark before we leave Birmingham. So I decided to go to TK Maxx. We were a bit more familiar with TK Maxx, and also because TK Maxx gives you an opportunity to shop for varieties of stuff like at the same time. So we went to the clothing section to actually get some stuff. We got some clothes for Jason. We got some clothes that grandma was going to be taking along, for relatives back home in Nigeria, for our friends. And this guy refused to stay on his stroller. He just wanted to explore. And so we had to let him down, and then we walked around. And at some point, we had to get him into the basket, so that we can be able to shop more quickly. And here we were, grandma had gotten some clothes that she really loved, and we're in the fitting room. She wanted to try them out. I also got something, a dress, and I wanted to try it out too. But eventually, I didn't pick it because it wasn't really like my style. So we also looked around for some jewelry. I actually wanted to get some jewelries, but eventually I did not because I didn't really like some of the jewelries I saw. And eventually we were done shopping, and it was time to pay and to gather ourselves together, and that is exactly what I was doing here. We actually got a lot of stuff, and but it was good because we after this we knew that we had gotten a lot of things, and if we were even going to explore more, we won't have to spend a lot of time. So there was this particular shop that we had, this store that we had visited before we went to Primark. It's called Deichman, and this was also my first time of hearing, of seeing the name of this store. So it wasn't like a familiar one, but then we saw that they were selling shoes, and we wanted to get a shoe for my sister-in-law. So we had seen this particular shoe that we loved, but then we wanted to explore, hoping that maybe we're going to find something else we were going to prefer, during the course of our exploring other stores. But eventually we were running out of time, and we didn't have enough time to explore that store. So we just came back to actually get this particular shoe. We had already called my sister-in-law earlier in the morning, and we already showed her some shoes, and she said she wanted this particular one. So we came back to actually get the shoe, and they actually had some really lovely shoes and all of that. So we proceeded to actually pay for the shoes that we had gotten, but then I just wanted to have a look around to see some other shoes, and maybe just to have a look. I might eventually come back to actually get some shoes for myself. So there I was, trying to make payment for the shoe we had gotten before we proceeded out. And so at this time it was already getting dark, and so we couldn't go ahead to explore more because we wanted to catch up with the next train. So we had some pictures, and then here we were in the train, and this young man was refusing to stay on his stroller. He was just crying, and so eventually we carried him, but then he just wanted to walk around, which I was not very comfortable with. But then we met these really lovely ladies while we were in the train. A lot of times you don't actually get to meet people on the train or even somewhere else where we're going to play with your child, that much. So this was actually unexpected, and it was a first time. So it was really like a good experience for me, seeing people playing with your child.
Applegate Street, Northern Link, Mid Northern, Colville, Woodbury, and Hereford.
Okay, London. I don't know that because you're back
Jason actually had a really good time. He enjoyed himself and eventually slept off after he left his friends. Grandma was tired, everyone was exhausted, and we're just waiting to go home. at this time we're very close to our destination already. And so guys, this is how I'm going to be ending this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to like, to share, to comment, and also to subscribe to this channel for more of this. Till I see you again, take care. Bye.